Hello everyone, Thempire Ian here for the Genesys April Points Update. It is the April Points Update, but they put it out the last day of April. I don't think that's technically an April Points Update, but whatever, close enough. I think it's technically a May Points Update, but whatever. Hey, I mean, I put out my channel updates on the 30th, so maybe it is. But my update's supposed to update you about how the month is gone, so it makes sense to have it later in the month. I don't know. Anyways, this points list is just for Blazing Dominion. It's just for Blazing Dominion. There's no cards on here that aren't in the new set. I think yeah, it's literally just only cards that are in the set that are affected. Sure, you have to have these if you're going to make Genesys format a format that is different from Advanced. You have to have these. I think that's good. All right, let's see what the points are. First up, Cool Tune Rotary to 40, Cool Tune B2B to 40, that's back to back, Cool Tune Crackle to 70. These hits are good. Kill Cool Tune. You know I hate Cool Tune. Fuck this deck. I think it should be every card to 100. But no, I think these are very reasonable hits. The new cards for Cool Tune are fucking insane, especially Crackle with the way it attacks the extra deck. It's just untenable in Genesys format. Just completely untenable. Glad to see these hit. You could even play a B2B or a Rotary if you want to. I think it's reasonable to play maybe a Rotary or a B2B. Not both, not more than one copy of each. But I think you could reasonably fit them into Cool Tune. You would have to go down on the Ghost Girls, which would be a pretty heavy hit to the deck, but good! I don't think Cool Tune, with as powerful as it is, should be able to access most pointed hand traps. And certainly not as many as it has been able to. So I think the more hits to Cool Tune, the better. I think Cool Tune Crackle specifically is a really good hit. I hit it to 100. Fuck it. I legitimately, this one, I joke with the other Cool Tune cards. Legitimately, Crackle should not be in this format. I saw a lot of Cool Tune players really upset by these hits. Cry about it, I guess. I don't know. I think especially Crackle is fucking get it out of here. Get it out of here. Like, even at 70, it's probably never going to see play, which is just where I want it to be. Again, put it to might as well put it to 100. It literally, the difference between 70 and 100 points for Crackle is nothing. I don't think it's going to see play even at 70. So you might as well put it at 100. Just make it so we don't see this card ever again. I don't want to see it. I saw some Cool Tune players who were like comparing Crackle to Kashtira Unicorn as if those are the. Can you think of some ways in which Kashtira Unicorn and Crackle are different? So if you don't know, Kashtira Unicorn is at 30 points. I think it's a reasonable place for Kashtira Unicorn to be. I might put it higher because I don't really want you to attack the extra deck at all in Genesys format. But I understand that. So the difference between Crackle and Unicorn is that Crackle is an end board. Well, not necessarily an end board piece. Well, no, it's an end board piece because it does the extra deck rip in the opponent's turn. Yeah, so it's end board. You want to have it on there for the rip in the next turn. Whereas Kashtira Unicorn is a starter. Like, Kashtira as a deck doesn't really function very well without Kashtira Unicorn. So putting it at 30 means you're really only going to be able to run one copy of it if you actually want to run the rest of the Kashtira, which I believe Fenrir is also points. So that's why, right? It's that it's a main deck monster, which means if you want to have full copies of it, you have to run 3 copies. Whereas Crackle's an extra deck monster, which means you only really need to run the one copy. Kashtira Unicorn starts combos for Kashtira. So without Kashtira Unicorn, the deck is significantly weaker. Without Crackle, Cool Tune is still one of the best decks in the room. Without Rotary, B2B, or Crackle, it's still one of the best decks in the room because we haven't hit any of the other cards that exist since the last list. Like, there's been no changes to Cool Tune as a deck in this list update, in this points update. So Cool Tune is still exactly where it was before as one of the best decks in the room. Something you still have to contend with if you're thinking about how to build your deck. So I don't get why you would complain that I think the fact that you get to even play Rotary, even if it's at 40 points, is a miracle for Cool Toon players. They shouldn't get shit. They should be getting hit more. All your cards should be a fucking 100. No, like, seriously though, like I just don't understand. I don't. Of course, Crackle also hits for more than Kashtira does. It hits one specifically like Kashtira does, and then hits two more after the fact, randomly. But still, you can end up hitting an entire playset. That's just not okay. It's just not okay for Genesys format. Shouldn't be okay for advanced format. So, glad to see these hits. These hits are the best things on here. Most important hits on here. Really glad to see them. We also have hits for Clown Crew. I think they might have hit Clown Crew a little too hard, because the thing that makes Clown Crew toxic in advanced format is the fact it's going to be running a lot of floodgates. All those floodgates, however, are hit in Genesys format. So, does Clown Crew need to be hit as hard? Not really. But it also is, it has a very similar play style in a lot of ways to Monarch. Cheat out a bunch of guys as tribute fodder for big fucking assholes. And that makes me feel like I don't really want two of those decks in the meta. Maybe we should hit Monarch, because Monarch's had its time in the sun, right? But I don't know. I understand the hits. I don't know if they need to be as heavy-handed as they have been. I don't know. Hits to the new RDA stuff are pretty light, I would say. RDA looking like a pretty strong deck. If you're into RDA, which I know a lot of people are, Jack Atlas has a lot of fans. Genesys format, maybe start brewing. I think it's got a chance. We've got Archmage Impasta Recapture at 10, and Elf Notes Regina at 40. Elf Notes already a powerful deck in Genesys format. I think this fucking insane card Regina that really makes the deck fucking work. Not necessarily work, but like functional in an advanced context. Yeah, 40 makes sense for that. I could maybe bring it down to 30, but for these kind of, I think with the set release hits, I know some people disagree because you should be able to play with the cards you pull, but that's what advanced is for. You can play with them in advanced format. When it comes to Genesys format, new cards that are released should be hit heavier and pulled, and the points should be pulled back after the fact when they're not seeing play, or maybe not at all if they're not fun to play with, like the fucking Cool Toon cards. Don't pull the Cool Toon card hits back at all ever. So I think 40 is a reasonable hit to start off with, and then bring it back down from there until Elf Note's at a reasonable level. Doomsy over Graflario. Ooh, that's a tongue twister a little bit. 20, sure. Officiator of Doom Samuel is that new rank 6 zombie card. So at only 10, with none of the other Pumpkin stuff hit, I don't know, kind of seems pretty cool. The Call of the Haunted stuff Pumpkin deck looks like a pretty nice thing for Genesys format. No hit to the other level 6 zombie that was printed either. Oh, cool. Little hit to Earth Machine. I don't think Exceptional Schedule to 10 is going to be make or break for that deck. I think that's fine. I think a deck that's getting new powerful support like the Earth Machine support should have a little tiny hit like this to prevent them from playing as many hand traps. I think that's good. Phaedralis Harmonia to 50. So I actually put Phaedralis Harmonia in my Rivalry format. If you haven't seen that, there's a stream of it up now. There's probably going to be a video of it on the Clips channel in the near future. So right here, make sure you subscribe. When it comes to Phaedralis, I have put it in that format because it's not a negate. I think it's an interesting interaction, but it is very strong. So I have been keeping an eye on it. I might be changing, like, making it so that the synchros you're able to send with it are not as strong. Like, they're not like pack bit and stuff like that. Instead they're like, you know, something that don't really do anything in the graveyard. Or maybe it's, you know, we have a deck that's a ritual deck and you're sending the one card that searches, and then it's a search instead of a, I don't know, it's something I'm working with, like how to balance the Phaedralis in there. Because I think it's an interesting card, but is it too powerful for Genesys format? Very distinctly, possibly. And having it at 50 means we don't have to worry about it. It's at the max C level. I don't know if it's max C powerful, but I don't know. I get the spirit at least. Dominus Spark to 10 means Dominus Spark seems like a reasonable option, and Solemn Accusation to 12 makes sense. A lot of the Solemn cards are in a similar level. They actually gave us good explanations here, so let's actually read through their explanations. Or I say good explanations. I mean, what I mean by that is beefy explanations, like explanations that actually say anything instead of doing the thing they had been doing, where they were telling us why they were going to ban certain or give points to certain things, like a week or so before they actually released a list. So you had to infer which of the cards belonged to which category. That sucked. That was terrible. But here they have just actual specifics on what they're hitting. Some of these cards have rather extreme numbers of points assigned them ahead of their release. We would prefer to let the gameplay sort out what going rate for each of them should be. 2 categories we're assigning high initial cost to because the gameplay and deck building impact of the cards is so obvious. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I would even say you don't really want this. I think you want to hit hard and then let the gameplay sort out what can come down. But I think otherwise this is fine. Do everything cards. Cool Tune Rotary, Cool Tune Crackle, Elf Note Regina all set off extraordinary number of actions for their respective decks and help you bypass existing point cost assigned to those themes. In addition, Crackle aggressively attacks the extra deck. It really, really does. In terms of so-called turn 0 disruptions, Phaedralus Harmonia is the best in-slot card for any deck that can spend at least 5 extra slots on the Singer monsters, which many Genesis decks already do. I guess that's one thing, is that in Genesis format, you don't have link monsters, so you don't have like the generic links that fill up like 2, 3, 5 slots in every single deck, which makes it really easy, a lot easier to just slot in a bunch of extra deck, synchro monsters for Phaedralus, right? That's exactly the reasoning behind what is the name of that card? The spell card, you know what I'm talking about. With Appaloosa on it. Fuck, I can't remember the name of the card for some reason right now. Just completely blanking on it. But that's the exact reasoning behind that, is that the extra decks aren't as tight in Genesis format. You're able to slot in a couple synchros, a couple Ixies, a couple fusions to use that card, which I'm still blanking on the name of. Fuck, that's going to annoy me for the rest of the day. You're going to say it in the comments, and I'm going to go, yep, that's the one. And then it's going to be really annoying. Okay, but yes, it's exactly the same reasoning there. So that is another reason why Phaedralus Harmonia is actually, I think probably better in this format than in other formats. I still think 50 is, way too much for it. I don't think it's Max C strong. I think it's maybe Ash Blossom strong. I feel like Ash Blossom would be a better, 25 would be a good level. Maybe even 30. I don't know. Strong enough it can push players who don't want to play a synchro deck into playing a synchro deck just to have access to this one card. I don't think it would do that. I think you would just play a package. But I know they don't want every deck to be on the same stuff. They want every deck to be on different stuff, which is an impossible task. Non-engine, you're going to be stuck in the certain categories as far as non-engine goes, and you're going to always look for the best option within that category. So there's always going to be some amount of centralization of non-engine. So they're kind of playing a fool's errand here on that. But I do think Phaedralus is a really strong card and needs to be hit. Just I don't think it's as strong as they're thinking it is. And it's not as centralizing as I think it is. I think it's more likely to just end up taking five or six extra deck slots in decks that maybe don't want to give up that much space, but have to for Phaedralus. So, yeah. Yeah. Higher initial cost warranted for the set. So really, and this is gonna be every set from here on out, by the way, because the OCG is changing how they do sets to make the sets better on average than they have been in the past. So every set from here on out is basically going to need to have these kind of crazy out the gate initial costing. Anything else in here? Just a reminder. Why were there no other point updates? Injects a really powerful pilot. Yeah. Current thinking is combining adjustments based on usage and tournament results, and adjustments based on new cards coming out should be treated separately. Yeah, that's reasonable. All right, yeah, nothing else of interest. So yeah, that's my thoughts on these. I think there's some really cool stuff that I think is going to be playable. RDA, the Call of the Haunted Pumpkin deck. Really happy to see the hits on Cool Tune. I was kind of dreading the release of these cards because I just thought they weren't going to hit them like they have it for the rest of the Cool Tune stuff. So really glad to see aggressive hits on this. Yeah, like I said, I think they could have gone a little softer on the Clown Crew. I think the deck's boring. I think it's really boring. I think it does a lot of stuff that's similar to Monarch, which is already a top deck and also kind of boring. But it doesn't do the Floodgate stuff in advance. It does it in advance, so I don't see a problem with it necessarily being a fine deck. But I don't really want it to be a meta deck either. I don't know. And good hits to Regina too. I think that's a good hit. Could go a little less on the Phadralis. Could go maybe a little more on Spark. I could see it going to like 12. Yeah. Overall, I think this is a really good list, actually. And you know why? It's because it's not based on data. They have no data to base this on. They're just doing it on vibes, and that's what makes it a good list, because they're doing it based on what would be fun. So they have no data to rely on this time, so they can't fuck it up. All right. Let me know what you think of this list down in the comments below, and I'll see ya in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey there, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I got a lot more for you if you want them. Just hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications. I'd also appreciate if you left me a like and a comment and maybe shared the video around with your friends. You can also follow me on all the usual social media sites and find my other YouTube channels and Twitch channel by checking out my website in the description below for all those links. My videos are funded by my patrons, Ko-fi subscribers, and YouTube members whose names you'll see scrolling by in these credits here. For just $1 a month, you too can find yourself here, trapped in my end screen for all eternity, among other benefits. In particular, I'd like to thank Jeremy Coatney, Frog Prince Michael, Beastsman, Beelzis, Fleakill, Fire Mizumi, Golden Nova, Haru Hayes, Squish, and the almighty Ferret Lord. A big thanks to all my other patrons and to my little community as a whole. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful whatever time it is for you. Bye!